Ethan and I were the duo that everyone in our circle admired and envied. He was genuine and highly disciplined, achieving remarkable success at a young age, the quintessential boyfriend. However, as our wedding day neared, Ethan confided in me, "I don't want to miss out on the person I truly love." He abruptly left me and swiftly married a lively, charming younger woman from our school, Lily. I quietly walked away. 3 years later, I encountered Ethan once more at a gathering in the city. He no longer appeared as the handsome young heir I once knew. "Can we talk?" he asked. I offered a faint smile and replied, "No, my fiancé's waiting for me." I noticed Sophia nearby. I remember, didn't Sophia end things with him back then? Now, Ethan was leading the family business. I wondered if Sophia had any regrets. Entering the banquet hall, I overheard conversations about my breakup with Ethan. It was the first time, 3 years later, that I heard the real story behind our split. It struck me unexpectedly, much like the day he suddenly said, "Lily, we need to end this." He had said, "You only live once. I don't want to miss out on the person I love. Besides, you're too dull and uninteresting." At the time, I dismissed it as a fleeting thought, but the next day he posted a photo of his wedding ring on Instagram with the caption, "People should live for themselves at least once in their lives." That's when I realized he wasn't seeking my consent. He was informing me of his choice. After feeling despondent for a while, I discreetly left the country to pursue studies abroad. However, I never anticipated that Ethan would claim to others that I was the one who ended things. He maintained his sterling reputation, while I was labeled as the ungrateful and greedy woman. "Isn't that Sophia?" Some old acquaintances noticed me and approached. One of them asked, "Why are you so late?" I responded, "I was delayed by something." They scrutinized me and sighed. "You're becoming more beautiful. Your skin is flawless as if you could squeeze water from it. You're a violinist now. Your aura has completely changed. She's an artist now. There's no comparison with us debutantes." Sensing some friends were not entirely genuine, I offered a faint smile and shifted the conversation. After a while, someone announced, "Ethan is here." 3 years ago, Ethan was the center of attention, but now he looked weary and tired. A friend whispered, "Although Ethan now runs his family's company, he has a problematic woman at home." I was about to inquire when Ethan glanced my way. Our eyes locked, and he paused for a moment before slowly approaching me. "It's been a long time." I nodded distantly. "Long time no see." Our perceptive friends cleared the area for us. This was our first encounter since the breakup, 3 years on. I never expected to meet him at such a gathering. Ethan spoke first. "You look like you're doing well." "Yeah, I'm doing okay. I heard you have a concert soon. Congratulations on achieving your dream." His tone was casual, as if we were old friends discussing the weather. I offered a faint smile. "Thank you." The atmosphere grew quiet, creating an awkward pause. Ethan was the first to break the silence. "I didn't handle things well back then. I shouldn't have been so stubborn." I replied lightly, "It's all in the past." Ethan seemed like he wanted to say more when a figure rushed toward him, embracing him from behind. Surprised, Ethan pressed his lips together firmly and pulled her away. She quickly entwined her arm with his and extended her hand toward me. "Hello, I'm Ethan's wife, Sophia." This wasn't my first encounter with Sophia. 3 years ago, I had seen her a few times at Ethan's company. She was a lovely woman. Ethan had mentioned her once, noting their great rapport. At the time, I didn't think much of it, but looking back, the signs had always been present. Out of politeness, I shook her hand gently. "You two should talk." I excused myself and went to the restroom. After tidying up, I discovered an unread message on my phone. "If you don't come out, I'll come in to get you." I replied, "Can I have another 10 minutes?" A quick response came, "Sure, but you owe me tonight." Leaving the restroom, I passed by a lounge with the doors slightly open, and without thinking, peeked inside. I saw Ethan scolding Sophia with a stern expression. "This isn't the place for you to make a scene. Go home now. I have things to handle." Sophia was crying, looking pitiful. "What's so important? You just heard about our breakup, and now you want to rekindle your old relationship with her? I followed you right after graduation, and now you're treating me like this." Ethan looked exhausted. I told you, there's nothing between me and her. Why don't you believe me? You've known her for nearly 20 years. How can I trust you? Yeah. Ethan and I had been childhood sweethearts for nearly 20 years, but in the end, his words couldn't override his one statement, I don't want to miss out on the person I love. Sophia knew exactly how he had fallen out of love with me, so how could she trust him to be with me? But none of that mattered anymore. Back in the banquet hall, my friends engaged me in conversation. Amidst it, Ethan entered, bringing Sophia with him. In the end, he couldn't bear to send away the one he loved. They sat across from me. The conversation among friends became strained, with fragmented dialogues. Suddenly, Sophia pointed at my neck and gasped, Did you hurt your neck? I instinctively covered my neck and awkwardly said, No, it's not injured. Sophia, ignoring my discomfort, walked over and attempted to pull my hand away to inspect my neck. How can it be uninjured if it's red? I had no defense, and she removed my hand, revealing a mark just below my collarbone. It was clearly a mark from something else. Sophia exchanged a meaningful glance with Ethan. I quickly adjusted my collarbone, my expression displeased. The adults in the room shot her disapproving looks, but Sophia seemed completely oblivious to her rudeness. She tentatively asked, You've been single for so many years after breaking up with Ethan. Have you found a boyfriend? Before I could respond, Ethan sternly reprimanded, If you keep being so rude, I'll have someone send you home. Sophia, looking aggrieved, replied, I'm just trying to show concern for your friend. No malice intended. Ethan's face turned pale with anger. Shut up. He seemed like he wanted to apologize, but I stood up first. I've got something to do. I'll be leaving now. As I approached my car, someone pulled me into an embrace. A deep, magnetic voice whispered in my ear, You're 1 minute late. I couldn't help but laugh. Ethan, you're too controlling. I'm generous enough to let you meet your ex. I was momentarily speechless. Come to my place tonight? I nodded. As we were walking, Ethan suddenly stopped, grabbed my chin, and kissed me. After the kiss, I glared at him. Ethan, seemingly in a good mood, asked, What? He hugged me into the car and, just before closing the door, glanced toward the banquet hall. I looked in his direction but saw nothing. What are you looking at? Nothing. This place is nice. I didn't suspect anything. It's nice here. The next day, my friend Ava called. After catching up, she abruptly changed the subject. I heard that Ethan and Sophia had a huge argument the previous night. Ethan even mentioned divorce. Even though it was said that I broke up with him, Ethan obtained his marriage certificate the day after. He's not exactly a good guy. I said, It wasn't me who broke up with him back then. What? I recounted what Ethan had said, and after hearing it, Ava ground her teeth in anger. That scumbag has been slandering you all these years. I can't stand it. I'll go clear your name right now. It's fine. It's all in the past. Perhaps because I had talked with Ava for too long, I suddenly remembered the night Ethan had ended things with me. I had prepared a table full of his favorite dishes. He didn't return home until 11 p.m. When he walked in, he didn't even glance at the dinner table and headed straight for the study. I called out to him, How about eating first, then you can get back to your work? He replied, I've already eaten. But that day was our anniversary. He had promised in the morning that he would come home for dinner with me. Before I could say anything else, Ethan received a phone call and was about to leave. I stopped him. Today is our anniversary? He stared at me for a long time, so long that I thought he might feel guilty. But then he suddenly spoke. Lily, maybe it's better if we just end it. I stood there stunned, and after a long pause, I asked him why. He said, You're too boring and rigid. We've known each other since childhood. We're too familiar with each other. You only know how to read and play the violin. You don't have any other hobbies. You're just too dull. I don't want to spend my life with a wooden person. That night, he left and never returned. I sat alone for the rest of the night, still hoping that maybe he was just in a bad mood when he said all those things. But I was wrong. After the breakup, I fell into a deep depression for a long time. My parents, worried that I might spiral, decided to send me abroad to continue my studies and distract me. But even after leaving, I didn't immediately get over the relationship. I often went to bars to drown my sorrows. That's when Ethan's ex, Sophia, appeared. She found me completely drunk and took me back to her place, staying up all night to care for me. The next morning, I woke up thinking I had slept with her and felt terribly ashamed. But she calmly said, "I'm not the kind of person who takes advantage of someone when they're vulnerable." When she learned that my school was near her office, Sophia often picked me up and took me out for meals. One thing led to another, and we became friends. It wasn't until 6 months ago, when I passed my violin exam, that things changed. I invited her to dinner, and on the way back to my school, she suddenly asked seriously, "I've been chasing you for so long. Don't you think it's time to give me an answer?" Looking at this capable and charming woman, I foolishly agreed without hesitation. The day Ethan asked to meet, I was trying on a wedding dress for a friend. I gave him the address of the bridal shop. By the time he arrived, I had already changed into my regular clothes. He suggested we sit across the street for a while. I replied, "Let's sit here. If Ethan knew I was meeting Alexander alone, it would cause trouble." As I sat down on the sofa, I felt a sudden sharp pain in my thigh, like an electric shock. Sophia had bitten me quite hard, and the aftermath was intense. I grabbed a soft pillow to cushion myself and asked her, "Do you need to meet just to tell me something?" Ethan pulled out a jewelry box and said, "This belongs to you. It's time to return it to its rightful owner." I opened it, and inside was the engagement ring he had given me years ago. I looked at him coldly and asked, "What does this mean?" "This is your ring. I have no right to keep it. Anyone who ends things wouldn't keep the engagement ring." Ethan was just here to rub salt in the wound. I was furious, so I grabbed a glass from the table and took a sip of water. I don't know if I drank too quickly or what, but I choked and started coughing violently. Ethan reached out to help, but a large hand beat him to it, gently patting my back. "Don't worry about it. My girlfriend just choked." Ethan furrowed his brows. "She hasn't eaten anything. How could she choke? She had breakfast, a fishbone. It got stuck for 20 minutes, but she got it out." Ethan looked confused at first, then his handsome face tightened, his clenched fist bulging with veins, his eyes flickering with barely contained rage. The two of us stared at each other, neither backing down. I don't know how long it took, but I finally calmed down and said to Ethan, "You can keep it if you want or throw it away, whatever." After leaving the bridal shop, I grabbed Sophia's hand. "Don't be mad. I didn't know she would bring that over." Sophia clenched her jaw. "You met him in private, but this is your turf, Sophia. I'm over him, we're in the past now, and it will never happen again." Though Sophia still looked serious, the slight curve at the corner of her mouth betrayed her. I linked my arm with hers. "I saved you a good seat for tomorrow's performance. Now that's more like it." On the day of the performance, Ethan showed up. From across the crowd, I saw him being led to the seat I had reserved for Sophia. Maybe it was just my imagination, but I could have sworn I saw Ethan give Sophia a provocative smile. Sophia didn't acknowledge him and kept her gaze fixed on the backstage. I called my assistant over and gave a few instructions. After she left, someone walked over to Sophia, whispered something to her, and then led her upstairs to the best private box. When I looked back at Ethan, his smug face had turned dark, but I didn't care. After the performance, I went backstage to wait for Sophia. To my surprise, it wasn't Sophia who came, but Ethan. He held a bouquet of flowers. "Lily, you look really beautiful today." "I didn't take them." "Thank you, but I won't be accepting the flowers to avoid any unnecessary misunderstandings." "Is it because you're afraid he'll misunderstand?" "Yes." "You've changed," he said. "You're not like this before." "No, I've always been like this. After we got together, I kept my distance from all other men, never letting him misunderstand." It seemed like something clicked in his mind, and his thin lips tightened. "So, now you want to keep your distance from me?" His gaze held a flash of pain, but it quickly disappeared. "I came to tell you that in a couple of days, there's a college reunion. Everyone hopes you can come." I nodded. "I'll be there." I had good relationships with my college friends and didn't want to miss the chance to meet them just because of Ethan. After sending Ethan off, Sophia immediately walked in. Her face was expressionless, so I couldn't tell if she was angry or not. I told her about Ethan's visit. Sophia remained emotionless. You're going? Yes, it's been a long time since I've seen them. She nodded indifferently, but the smug look she tried to hide only made me laugh. I took her hand. I want you to come with me. This trip back was to prepare for the engagement and wedding, and it was the perfect time to introduce Sophia to my friends. That way, any rumors about me would be shut down. The day of the reunion, Sophia had cleared her schedule to be with me. Just as we were about to leave, I received a call from Ava. Lily, I just got the notice. We can't bring partners today. I asked around, and they said Ethan is the one organizing it, and he's the one who made the no partner rule. That's just outrageous. Who doesn't bring a partner every year? Maybe he doesn't want his wife there, so he's pulling this stunt. Ava and the others thought Ethan was doing this to keep his wife from attending, but we both knew he was targeting Sophia. I looked at Sophia. Sophia curled her lips and a cold dark light flickered in her eyes. I'll see what kind of trouble she can stir up. Sophia made a few phone calls, then we headed out together. When we reached the door of the private room, Sophia asked me to go in first, saying she would follow shortly. Just as I was about to knock, I overheard someone mention my name inside. I heard Lily found herself a 60-year-old man abroad. What good does it do her now? She got that life by using her body. With that model figure of hers, what man wouldn't be confused? If I had a body like hers, I'd go for a rich guy too. Ethan, I heard you've met her man. Ethan's voice was cold and emotionless. I haven't met him. Well, the rumors must be true then. Luckily, you broke up with her early. A woman like that is no good. Who says not? Sophia's definitely the one who knows how to please, right? Ethan seemed to chuckle. Life can't be too dull. I had never seen this side of Ethan. He had always been sensible and knew how to keep things in check. But now, driven by his own selfish desires, he was willing to speak without conscience. The person I once knew was completely gone, and it made me shudder. When I pushed the door open, everyone stopped talking and looked at me. I walked straight up to Ethan and slapped him across the face. The lively room suddenly fell into eerie silence. Ethan, with a composed face, stared at me without saying a word. One of his friends spoke first. Are you crazy? I looked at Ethan and said, when you broke up with me and badmouthed me outside, I didn't hold it against you because I didn't know the truth. But now that you know everything, you still join them in throwing dirt on my name. Ethan, you really make me look down on you. Several of his good friends couldn't stay quiet. What are you talking about? He's just telling the truth. Why are you getting so worked up? I held my temper and said, I want to ask which part of what he said was the truth? Was it when he dumped me the night before and married someone else the next day? Or was it when he brought his old ring to taunt me and my fiancé a few days ago? Everyone exchanged glances. Maybe Ethan's fake persona had been so successful over the years that some people were still defending him. I know you can't let go of Ethan, but didn't you cheat first? Exactly. You're regretting it, but don't destroy other people's families. No matter what they said, I didn't flinch, keeping my gaze fixed on Ethan. The atmosphere in the room grew increasingly strange. Someone tugged at my sleeve, signaling me to let it go. Finally, Ethan spoke. The first words he said after I walked in. Stop dwelling on the past. I pondered his words and suddenly burst out laughing. Ethan's gaze deepened slightly. We've all gathered here today. Don't ruin the mood. Years ago, I had introduced Ethan to my parents. His flawless performance made me proud in front of them. But after he left, my parents solemnly told me, Sweetheart, his thoughts are too complicated. If you two don't get married, he knows exactly how to stab you in the back. At that time, I was completely absorbed in Ethan, ignoring their warnings. I even comforted them, telling them that no matter what, Ethan would never hurt me. Now, looking back at that moment, it felt unbearably ironic. As I stared at the two-faced man in front of me, about to speak, a figure rushed toward me. You slut! I knew you couldn't let go of Ethan. After all these years, how can you still cling to someone else's husband? Is your old man not satisfying enough for you? Sophia lunged at me so quickly, I couldn't avoid her. Just as she was about to crash into me, a strong hand pulled me into an embrace. Sophia stopped in front of me, giving the man behind me a sharp look. Who's this man of Lily's? She's not married, so of course she can find a man anywhere. The man she was referring to was now anxiously checking if I was hurt. I held his hand, turning to look at Sophia. The man she was referring to was now anxiously checking if I was hurt. I held his hand, turning to look at Sophia. Sophia, I said, my tone sharp, if you're going to make a scene, at least know the occasion. This is a class reunion, please don't cause trouble. Sophia's face changed slightly as she looked at Ethan. When she saw he wasn't going to ask her to leave, she immediately smiled again. But this is my husband's gathering. What should we do? If you don't like it, you can leave. Ava's voice rang out just in time. Yeah, this is Ethan's gathering. We all agreed not to bring anyone halfway, so why is it okay for you? Are you showing off your love in front of us? Ava's words made several of Sophia's old classmates, who didn't like her, chime in. Seeing the situation turning against Ethan, Sophia hurriedly explained, I didn't mean that. She tried to explain, but stuttered in her panic. Finally, she looked toward Ethan for help, but Ethan's expression was now as dark as could be. He stared at her coldly and reprimanded her in a low voice. Don't you think this is embarrassing enough? A minute ago, Sophia had been happy that Ethan hadn't kicked her out. Now she was like a fish thrown into ice water. She bit her lip on the verge of tears. Ethan! Ethan looked at her coldly. The thoughtful and caring person from before was completely gone. Sophia bit her lip, her voice trembling with tears. I'll just sit here quietly, not doing anything. Please don't make me leave. Ava was the first to object. Since no one else brought their partner, no one should get special treatment. Am I right? And Miss Sophia, this rule was specifically set by your dear husband for you. Sophia glared at Ava with venom in her eyes but couldn't argue back. At that moment, a clear voice cut through the tension. How about this? I'll treat everyone. Please bring your partners and let's go relax on the top floor of the Golden Palace. It seemed like everyone only just noticed Ethan, and they all turned their attention to him. Who is this guy? Lily? Who is he? I linked my arm with Sophia's and introduced him. My fiancé, Sophia. Everyone was stunned. I heard someone whisper, didn't she say she was with an older man? Could he be an actor? Lily hired to clear her name? Older man. Could he be an actor? Lily hired to clear her name? Ava couldn't take it anymore. Come on, use your brains. Think carefully about where Lily's rumors came from. After a brief silence, everyone turned to look at Sophia. Sophia looked from one person to the next, finally landing her gaze on Ethan. But he didn't even spare her a glance. Ava smiled. She went all out spreading rumors about Lily before. Why is she quiet now? The star of the show is right here. Go ahead, continue talking. We can confront each other directly. I always said it. One bed can't fit two people. What did Lily ever do to deserve this reputation-ruining treatment from you two? Sophia left in tears. As soon as she was gone, someone asked me, is this really your fiancé? I smiled and nodded. The person said enviously, we've all been misled by Sophia. A girl as good as you deserves someone better. As she spoke, she unconsciously glanced at Ethan. Some people, after cheating themselves, want others to take the blame. Ethan sat expressionlessly on the couch, and no one knew what he was thinking. His friends, however, couldn't sit still. Where did you find this actress, talking big about going to the glittering top floor? Do you even know what kind of people can go there? I heard the rooms on the top floor are reserved and not open to the public. Maybe your fiancé can figure out a way to get us a tour. The man burst into laughter at that. Next time, pick an actress with a broader knowledge base, so you don't end up embarrassing yourself like this. Meanwhile, Ethan looked at Sophia, but quickly shifted his gaze away. Ava couldn't take it anymore and walked over to me. Let's go. If they want to stay, let them. I don't want to miss out on the opportunity. As she moved, several other girls followed. Ethan, who had remained silent up to that point, suddenly spoke. Lily, there's no need to make a small issue into something irreversible. If you really want to go, I can make a call. After returning to the country, not much happened, but enough to make me see Ethan in a new light. I distantly refused his offer and left with a few of the girls. Perhaps expecting to see a spectacle, Ethan and his friends followed us. When we arrived at the luxurious venue, he seized the opportunity when Sophia wasn't around and approached me. "You've changed. You never used to care about these superficial things." I knew what he meant. In the past, when he was busy with social engagements, I understood and never wanted to distract him. I never made demands that distracted him, let alone asked him to use his connections to satisfy my little vanity. He glanced at Sophia, who was on the phone nearby, and said, "Lily, she's not right for you." I couldn't help but interrupt him. "Whether or not she's right for me, I already know. There's no need for you to worry." Ethan frowned slightly. "What do you hope to gain by holding a grudge against me? Maybe you should think more about how to cover up your lie, so you don't end up losing face in front of your classmates." Ethan's friends had all said that after I left him, I'd never find someone better, so he was sure Sophia was inferior to him. After all, in his eyes, how could a young, successful woman like Sophia be interested in someone as dull and unremarkable as me? In the face of his doubt, I just smiled silently. No one knew Sophia's capabilities better than I did. Moreover, the luxurious venue was part of Sophia's family business. If she wanted something, all she had to do was say the word. Sophia had been on the phone for a while, and when she returned, her expression wasn't great. Ethan gave her a glance and said lightly, "The top floor needs a reservation. Let me make a call and check." He moved aside to make the call. I asked Sophia if she had run into any trouble. She explained it was a work issue. While we were talking, Ethan returned. There was a fleeting glint of something dark in his eyes as he looked at Sophia. "Let's change the venue. The top floor is already reserved." But Sophia replied, "No need. Everything is ready upstairs. Let's go up." Ethan blocked her. "Don't bring Lily. She can't handle the embarrassment you're about to cause." Saying this, he reached to grab me. Just as his hand was about to touch me, Sophia pulled me into her arms. The atmosphere between the two women immediately became tense. This scene caught the attention of our classmates. Ethan's friends, upon learning what had happened, began mocking Sophia. "I told you, how could a powerless person like her possibly get to the top floor?" "Only you guys believed it? Well, this is embarrassing." "Don't you know the manager here? Why not call and see if he can give her access to the top floor?" "Hey, isn't that the manager? It's gotta be Ethan." The manager hurried over, but bypassed Ethan and stopped in front of Sophia. "Hey, Ethan is here too." However, the manager ignored him completely, bowing respectfully to Sophia. "Sorry to have kept you waiting." "I'll take you up now." Sophia nodded slightly. "Thank you." Ethan's friends thought the manager had made a mistake and pointed at him. "This is the person who called you earlier about the top floor. You've got it wrong." The manager finally looked at him, frowned, and said, "Oh, Mr. Ethan, I see. Are you also here for the party?" Ethan nodded. His friend added, "He called you earlier about the top floor." The manager replied, "Oh, that. The top floor has already been reserved by the young master. If you want it, you'll have to wait until tomorrow." With that, the manager turned back to Sophia. "Young master? Could it be?" The way everyone looked at Sophia changed multiple times. And then, all of them fell silent at once. Clearly, neither Ethan nor his friends had realized that Sophia was a member of the most powerful family in the city. After all, she had been abroad for years, and very few people knew who she was. That night, Ethan and his friends awkwardly stayed until the end of the party. Meanwhile, Ava and the others had a blast, joking about them all night. Thanks to them, Ethan's actions spread quickly, and his reputation within the circle took a nosedive. Of course, that's another story. After the reunion, Sophia took over her family's business. Though she was incredibly busy, she still found time to send me messages and prepare little surprises. If I hadn't gone to her office that day without letting her know, I might have never known she had fought with Ethan. When I arrived, she tried to hide, but there was nowhere to hide, so she finally told me the truth. Ethan had asked to meet her, and they started fighting without saying a word. I silently applied ointment to her wounds. "Are you angry?" Sophia asked. "Of course not," I replied, but I unintentionally pressed harder. Sophia sucked in a breath. She pulled me into her arms and explained, "This is how women solve problems. He won't bother you again. Sophia, I said, for me, he's already a thing of the past. Don't waste any more time on him. She smiled. What should I do then? He's still thinking about you? I laughed in exasperation. He's him, and you can't control his mind, can you? Sophia smiled with her eyes, not angry anymore. He's not that great. I made sure to hit where it wouldn't be seen. I poked at the bruise on her cheek. So, you made sure he hit somewhere visible? Sophia didn't deny it. That way, you'll feel bad for me, she said softly. I have a business trip tomorrow. Will you come with me? I shook my head. Sophia thought I was angry and tried everything to cheer me up. I sighed and finally agreed. What I didn't expect was that during the business trip, I would run into Ethan. And even more unexpectedly, Sophia was there too. The hotel had a hot spring, and I heard Sophia's voice while I was soaking in it. That bitch Lily just won't leave me alone. She thinks that by finding some good-looking guy, she can break me and Ethan up. She should remember how I got Ethan in the first place. She probably doesn't know that all the money she couldn't bear to spend ended up in my pocket. Ethan says she's boring and dull, but that's not true. She's just stupid. Her friend said, You really know how to handle Ethan. Sophia replied. Don't remind me. Now that she's back, I have to be extra careful, or I'll lose my position. If she hadn't come back suddenly, I wouldn't have had to work so hard to tie Ethan down and follow him here. In these critical moments, a woman has to cry, throw a tantrum, and even threaten to kill herself. That was when I realized just how worthless I must seem in Ethan's eyes. The things he said to me were never entirely true, but if he looked down on me so much, why did he keep coming back to find me after I returned to the country? When I returned home from my business trip, I pulled a box out from the corner of my study. Inside the box were all the memories from my time with Ethan. They had been sealed away here since I went abroad. If I hadn't overheard Sophia's conversation, I might never have opened it again. I took out an old phone and a few memory cards, then threw the rest of the items away. The memory cards were intact, and the phone still worked after being charged. I transferred everything from the memory cards, then dialed a number. The next morning, I was awakened by noise. Ethan's family had come over. They were causing a ruckus in the living room, demanding an explanation. By the time I was downstairs, Ethan's parents grabbed my hands. Lily, don't bother with him anymore. Please? Yeah, you two were together for a while. How can you ruin his future like this? Just delete the videos online. I subtly pulled my hand away and walked over to my parents. Did Ethan send you here? Tell him I just want to seek justice for myself in my own way. I don't have any other intentions. Ethan's parents seemed caught off guard by my directness, and for a moment, they were speechless. I spoke slowly. Ethan cheated first, then slandered me, and now he's using a lame excuse to hurt my fiancé. Before I could finish, my mom suddenly stood up. What? Sophia got hurt? Where? Is it serious? My dad slammed his hand on the table. You hit someone and still have the nerve to accuse others? This is too much. Bodyguard, get these two out of here. Ethan's parents realized, too late, that things weren't going their way. As they were being escorted out, they begged me to delete the videos and chat logs. I hadn't known about those chat logs and videos before. It was Sophia who told me. She said I was stupid for trusting Ethan so much that I never checked the surveillance footage. If I had just clicked on a certain day's footage, I would have seen her and Ethan secretly meeting. She also said that the old phone was the one Ethan used to flirt with her, but Ethan had told me it was his work phone. He would never know that the person he carefully chose as his lover would leave him such a huge vulnerability. My mom, who always doted on Sophia, was furious after kicking them out. Your son's so capable. Why didn't you let him handle this? Why did you have to come begging us? After Ethan quickly married Sophia, I went through a rough patch. My parents did go to ask Ethan's family to send him to see me. But what did they say? Ethan is so outstanding. There are plenty of women around him. If he had to deal with every situation like this after every breakup, would he have time for work? Your daughter was only with my son for 2 years. She's gotten plenty of benefits from him during that time. Anyway, your daughter's so beautiful, it wouldn't be hard to find her another rich man. Now, the tables had turned, and I couldn't help but feel that my parents finally had their moment of pride. Afterwards, they didn't blame me. In fact, they praised me. You did the right thing. We support you. If we had known you were holding on to those things, we wouldn't have waited until now for him to get his comeuppance. By the way, is Ethan bothering you again? I shook my head, but 2 days later, Ethan came knocking. The leaks I provided to the reporter occupied all the top headlines. For several days, the heat didn't die down. Ava told me that Ethan had been working overtime to manage the scandal and had even lost a few big projects. And Sophia told me she had signed several major contracts recently. When Ava mentioned Ethan's situation, she couldn't help but sigh. Who would have thought Ethan was like this? Luckily, you cut your losses in time, or you'd be the one getting dragged down. Sophia caused a big scene a while ago, and now that Ethan's in trouble, she's the first one to keep quiet. I quietly listened, and my mind wandered back to those exposed videos. Before Ethan broke up with me, he brought Sophia back to our home. They passionately kissed on the sofa I had carefully selected, living like a couple in my house, while I wasn't there. When he stayed up all night working in the study, he was actually on the phone with her all night long, and I never suspected him. That night, I was busy in the studio until late. When I came downstairs, I saw Ethan leaning against his car by the roadside, cigarette butts scattered at his feet. When he saw me, he walked toward me. As he got closer, I realized Ava had only been partially accurate in her description of him. Ethan now looked completely disheveled. His usually neat suit had wrinkles, his hair was messy. The dark circles under his eyes were heavy, clearly showing he hadn't had proper rest for a long time. "Can we talk?" he said. "No, my fiancé's waiting for me." Ethan pinched the bridge of his nose. "You're the one who leaked those videos and chat logs, right? Do you really have to be so heartless?" I distanced myself from him coldly. "There's no such thing as heartless. I just want to seek justice for myself." Ethan's face darkened. "Do you know those things you released could destroy me?" I met his gaze calmly. "I know. I thought you were different from other women, but I never expected you to be even more vicious. I was wrong to you in the past. But didn't you have any problems? Years had passed, and the first time we talked about breaking up was in this situation." He still seemed to believe he had done nothing wrong. "The problem was with me. I'm boring. I shouldn't have exposed the evidence of his infidelity and ruined his future." "But where did I go wrong? I'm a woman, and you were indifferent, making me feel useless and invisible. Do you understand?" "I don't," I said. "If you don't like me anymore, you could have just told me. Instead, you chose to hurt me." "I didn't mean to. I interrupted him. "You just wanted to seek excitement. You married her the day after we broke up and told everyone I cheated, right?" "Ethan, we're both adults now. Let's stop pretending. After this, we owe each other nothing." Footsteps approached from not far away. It was Sophia. She wanted to get closer, but seeing Ethan there, she hesitated. Ethan noticed her too, his brow furrowing even more tightly. "What are you still following me for?" Sophia paused, her voice cracking, as she replied, "I'm sorry, I really didn't mean to." She suddenly turned to face me. "It's you, right? You heard me that day, didn't you? How can you be so cruel? Do you have to ruin Ethan's life before you're satisfied?" Seeing the crazy, twisted look on her face, I didn't hesitate to turn away. On the side of the road, Sophia rounded the back of the car and pulled me inside. With a hint of jealousy in her voice, she said, "If I hadn't come back today, would you have spent the whole night talking to him?" I nodded. "Maybe, but not necessarily." Sophia's face darkened. "That night, I didn't let you return home." The whole night, she had me try positions that were far beyond my limits, and I couldn't keep up. Once the wedding date was set, Sophia and I became busier and busier. Both of our parents were very happy with the engagement. On the day of the wedding, Ava came to the makeup room to find me. I just saw Ethan. I almost didn't recognize him. I'd heard a few things about Ethan from Sophia, but she didn't allow me to ask too many questions. All I knew was that things weren't going well for him. His company was on the brink of bankruptcy. You know Sophia, right? Ethan is suing her for divorce. Her family refuses to let go of Ethan. They're holding something over him and threatening to keep him from divorcing her. But everyone knew the truth. Whether or not they divorced, Ethan would never return to his former glory. Was someone as unstable as Sophia? Who knew what kind of chaos she'd stir up next? But none of this mattered to me anymore. I took my father's arm and slowly walked towards the man standing in the center of the stage. His gaze was as solid as the strongest vow, and his eyes were locked on me. It was as if he was telling me that some things between people are simply different.